Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the latest furore surrounding Elon Musk as an article he writes defending the AfD has caused a German editor to resign in protest. But it's also worth going over the provably false statements Musk has made in defence of the AfD, and also why the last thing Musk would actually want is an AfD government in Germany. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. So as we get to the end of the year, just to mention, there will be a New Year's Eve live stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time. The chat will be open to all subscribers. It's not a normally scheduled stream. So back on topic, Phil. And this is turning into the Elon Musk show at the moment, isn't it? It feels a little bit like when Suella Braverman became Home Secretary in the UK. See, for years I thought Priti Patel was like a cartoon villain of a Home Secretary. It's a position which it's sort of, see, when you're Home Secretary, you're always going to look a bit severe, I suppose. You know, you're in charge of policing, you're in charge of border control. So you're basically in charge of being mean to people. You're always going to be associated with the imposition of authority. But Patel was like a caricature of an authoritarian, a bully, a bigot, someone who delighted in the misery her department could force onto others. Like, policing wasn't something for her that, oh, it's got to be done, it's got to be done. It was something she took pleasure in. I thought she was the worst Home Secretary we'd had. Then along comes Suella Braverman. And just like Nigel Farage makes Margaret Thatcher look like Florence Nightingale, so too Braverman made Priti Patel look like a liberal hippie. Well, I'm getting the same sense now with Elon Musk. At the start of 2024, the worst thing I thought could realistically happen is Donald Trump becomes president again, instead of going to prison. But Musk is fast emerging as someone even more extreme than Trump. Trump basically just wants to become much richer and saw politics as a way of making it happen, if only he could do something about those pesky courts and judges. Musk is taking delight in sowing chaos around the world, for no readily apparent reason. His latest little escapade is writing an article for a German newspaper in which he praises and defends the AfD. The AfD being a far-right populist party in Germany, very much in the mould of Reform UK here and I suppose MAGA in America. Ironic that Musk is praising far-right populists in the UK and Germany at the same time he's going to war with MAGA in America. But like I say, these populist parties are not by and large representing the interests they claim to have. It's just that Musk's group are now about to form a government, so they can't be all things to all people. So the difference between what they say they want to do and what they're actually going to do starts to emerge. The AfD are not likely to be forming a government in Germany anytime soon. Musk tried to say that they're not right-wing extremists. It's ridiculous. They're right-wing and they represent the extreme right-wing. So they are right-wing extremists. Remember, extremists are not always evil or even bad people. They just hold views that are way out of kilter with the majority. That's all it means. I'm an extremist. It's just that some extremists, because there is no consensual way to achieve their aims, you've got a choice. If you're an extremist, you've got a choice, right? You have certain beliefs. Those beliefs are not shared by the majority. So you either compromise, you go, well, I'm just going to adapt because, you know, the majority is the majority. Or you turn to less honest ways of achieving your aims. Sometimes violent means, as the Nazi Party did in the 1930s. And speaking of the Nazis, which is impossible to avoid when talking of the AfD, and increasingly Elon Musk himself, Space Karen made an insane claim in his article. So he was trying to downplay the extremism of the AfD and trying to suggest it's utterly ridiculous to think about it. And he said, and I quote, "The portrayal of the AfD as right-wing extremism is clearly false, considering," this was his trump card, if you pardon the expression, "considering that Alice Weidel, the party's leader, has a same-sex partner from Sri Lanka. Does that sound like Hitler to you?" Yes. Yes, it does. Some of Hitler's closest allies had habits and features which do not strictly fit the conservative view. Hitler was a vegetarian, Goering was a transvestite, Ernst Röhm was gay. Mind you, in the latter case, his homosexuality had to be kept quiet until it was time for Hitler to have him executed for getting a bit too unreliable. But that was the times. Hitler had no issue with it personally. And you think, is Musk really this ignorant, or does he just think his audience is ignorant? But his audience in this case is German. Musk defended his article in saying only the AfD can save Germany on the basis that he had significant business interests in Germany. Which is an odd thing for someone who claims to be a free speech champion to say, isn't it? Is he suggesting that he's only allowed to air his views because he owns businesses? Like, is he saying you have to own a business to be able to air your opinions? Surely he's allowed to comment on German politics on the basis of freedom of speech, much like I can comment on German politics if I choose to. But just because someone has a right to air views doesn't mean the media have to platform them, especially when the opinions are based on provable untruths. It caused an editor at the paper to resign in protest. The AfD are currently running at just under 20% in the opinion polls. It's a little lower than Reform UK are polling in the UK right now, although above where they polled in the general election itself, and are likely to in the next one. So it's a long way from being able to form a government, given that nobody would seriously consider them a suitable coalition partner. So when the new federal elections are held in Germany in a couple of months' time, what we're looking at is there's going to be a little shift in power between two of the current coalition partners. So, we're likely to get a new German chancellor. But it's probably going to be the same groups in coalition still, just slightly different number of seats. So a different senior partner. Because although there will always be a core of the population attracted to populism, especially when it looks like things aren't going great nationally, right? And Russia's invasion of Ukraine definitely tripped Germany up. But if there's one country that sort of knows that the raging xenophobes don't have all the answers, it's surely Germany. There may be a danger in the future, I keep thinking, as fewer and fewer people are around who remember what the Nazis did, even to Germany. But for now, the idea that the AfD can rise to power is ridiculous. Musk may well know this and just enjoy spreading chaos, like a malevolent goblin with too much time and money at his disposal. Because I can't imagine that Musk would actually want the AfD to run Germany. Can't see that being good for his business interests. Like in America, Musk is using Trump to make it easier to hire foreign workers for his tech businesses, despite MAGA's official stance on immigration. But although MAGA, and Reform UK when it comes to it, are really corporate shills who appeal to baser elements like racism for power, remember that the leaders of both MAGA and Reform UK are married to immigrants. The AfD does seem to be much more genuinely anti-immigration. So I would have thought the last thing Musk would want is the AfD in charge. So I just think he wants to create chaos. And the AfD in return are more than happy to have his patronage and support on Twitter. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for listening. And until next time, I'll see you later.